So next we have Laura Marie Anderson. And her message today is silencing the chatter of the mind and rediscovering your natural state of bliss. We're honored to welcome Laura Marie. She's a certified Kundalini Yoga instructor with over 30 years of experience in yoga and mindfulness. Laura's journey through various yoga practices led her to Kundalini Yoga, where she helps others quiet their body and calm their mind, and also tap into the state of joy and love. Let's explore Laura's powerful techniques for silencing the monkey brain and unlocking the peaceful energy within. Welcome, Laura Marie.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Olga. It's a pleasure to be here today. So nice to see so many people. And I was thinking this morning, there's so many different breaths that we could do first thing, but it would depend upon where you were in your day and what was going on in your life, which breath we would actually pick. So I thought I would give you a choice of two. And we'll start off with a calming breath. And then I want to give you one that will help you if you need energy. So it depends upon what time of the day. Maybe you're just blah in the afternoon and you really are just pushing yourself through. So there's so many different breaths, and that is what my free offer is a paper on different kinds of breaths so you can pick what you need. But I thought we might just start with one to calm us down because I had a problem with my internet earlier and my sister's TV just turned on. So I don't know if you can hear that, but I don't know. I think it's Alexa doing her thing. I might have to go turn it off. Can you hear it? Yeah, one moment.
Loud and clear. And that is what happens, right? Life happens. And what do? We run with it. We can't get stuck. So as Laura Marie turned down
So
Alexa,
sorry.
and here she is. Welcome back.
I must have said something that sounded like Alexa. Anyway, she was playing very loud Christmas music for us. So let's practice some yoga and see if we can get really calm. I taught you just the other day snake breath, and I just love this breath because I think everybody can do it. It's not one that takes a lot of time. There's some of them that are just so confusing, people can never get them. So this one is known as snake breath, and you try to sound like a snake when you do it. And you also stack your teeth. So when we stack our teeth and then you suck in air, you'll sound like a snake, but you'll feel the bottom part of your lungs expand, and then you make the sound ah on the way out, right? So if you want, you can put your hands on your ribs just so you can feel that expansion, and then just stick your teeth together and go and feel how much air you got in there, and that Let's do about 4 of those. Just notice how instantly you become calm, right? So that's a very nice one, especially if you're having any kind of stress. You can do it by just setting your teeth together in your mouth so you don't look so funny. Like that, right? And you can do it quieter so people don't even know you're doing it. Like you could be in a meeting and people wouldn't really know that you were up to that business. So the other one for anybody who's really blah, and I heard some blah when we first got on. I thought, well, we probably need this. It's called breath of fire. Anybody can do breath of fire so long as they're not pregnant. So if you're pregnant, you're going to have to stop. You're not going to get to do it. You can go back to the snake breath. And the other one is if you have unmedicated high blood pressure. So if you're just choosing not to take your blood pressure medication, trying to fix yourself or whatever you're doing, you can't do breath of fire. But breath of fire gives us so much energy. You can use it if you're just have a meeting and you're just not in the mood, right? Or any time of day where you just want some more energy. And it's actually taught when we first start learning it. We stick our tongue out like a puppy and you pant. So your belly snaps back every time. And you feel that belly moving back. Then you can practice it with your tongue in and just do it out your nose. When we're snapping our belly like that, the science of it is it's tapping, hitting the vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve, there's such a thing as a vagus nerve stimulator that is put inside people who suffer from really bad depression. And they'll actually put like a little tool inside of you that snaps on your vagus nerve all the time. So if you have some depression problems, you might want to use it just to, get yourself out of bed in the morning. But it's very easy to do. Let's just do it again. I forgot to set my timer. Let me change that and set it. Otherwise, I'm going to go over. It's my bad thing. So let's try with the tongue out because it's so hard to get it when you first start. It might take a week of doing it with your tongue out to finally get it. But there's no inhale at all. We don't think about inhaling at all. We only think about exhaling. So you stick your tongue out. And you can see it pump my body. Really use your belly so you get that vagus nerve stimulator going. You can try. Makes really big noise out your nose. And a minute of this would do anybody good, right? So you can probably already feel the difference already just because you're not used to stimulating your vagus nerve. So that one's a good one just to get us perked up, right? I wanted to talk to you about the monkey mind. Does anybody in here ever have monkey mind? We could do like a little Y in the chat, just so for yes or no, maybe you don't have any kind of monkey mind at all. And that's when your mind just goes on these tangents and takes you off worrying about things that you have never even thought about worrying about today. You could wake up thinking about something you don't want to be thinking about, which drives me crazy. I just as soon wake up in a really great mood. And they say the more we meditate, the more consistently we meditate, and maybe for some years we'll wake up with no monkey mind. And mine has definitely gotten better over the years. Oh, look, like everybody has it. Good. All right. So let me explain how it comes about to start. So when we're an embryo baby, we look like that little seahorse. You see that little seahorse? In the very beginning, all we are is really the end of the spine. And then we start to grow up and we actually create our heart first. Our heart is fully developed by the 3rd week. It starts pumping. The brain takes a long time. As a matter of fact, it's working on itself for the first 25 years of your life. But it's developed enough when you get out to be, telling your body what to do. It's kind of like the fuse box of your whole body. It tells your heart to beat and it tells you to breathe, and it has all to do with your nervous system. When we're small, we're run by our heart, which is actually a very natural and loving way to live life. But the more we get hurt, the more our brain or our ego starts to take over and it starts to tell the heart what to do. So if we want to quiet the monkey mind, what we're actually doing is getting back to our heart, which is a beautiful place to be because we don't want to be so analytical and judgy and, judge. The egos are pretty judgy. They try to keep you safe, so they're always judging. Good, bad, good, bad. It doesn't have much to do with how you actually feel. So if we want to get back to that, we need to quiet the monkey mind. One of the best ways to do it is actually with the breath. We start with the breath, always with the breath. And then in regular hatha yoga or like vinyasa flow, they just move the body a lot. So if you have a lot of anxious energy, you could just do, touch the ground a million times and you would get rid of that energy. But if you just want to go right into meditation, you can just start breathing. Maybe you want to do the snake breath. And if you can inhale for a certain count, and everybody's different, so maybe you're inhaling for 6, and you pause for 6, and then you exhale for 6 and pause again. This is a very calming breath. You can get it up to 10 or 20. 20 is the goal, actually. So you have one breath in 1 minute. So we won't be doing that today, but we will be doing a meditation. So in meditation, if you've ever tried, anybody try meditation? I'll just say, has anybody not tried it? You could put like I've never tried, or no, I've never tried it. We could put no. If you've never tried it, I think probably most everybody's tried it. Yeah, nobody's saying they didn't. So it's very hard to do because the monkey mind wants to get in there and be talking while you're trying to be quiet. So we have a lot of things we can do other than just sit there. When you just sit there, everything can take over. So if we use different things, different components of meditation, then we are going to have a much more successful meditation. So some of the things they use are hand mudras. You see people doing all kinds of things with their fingers. These are actually acupressure. And we have different acupressure spots in our body, right? So we'll be doing some acupressure in a specific hand mudra for this one. The one we're going to do is called Booty Mudra, and it's your thumb and your little finger. And then you try to have all your other fingers straight. Right? It's pretty simple. We're also going to use acupressure spots on the side of our ribs so we can sink our elbows into our ribs, and then we just move our hands are going to move up and down in a specific way. The other thing we use is called a dristi. This is somewhere for you to concentrate your eye, and usually they'll say the third eye. I recently read, and I thought it was so cool, that if you take your arm out to the side and you bring it up like this, and you look here, and then close your eyes, that would be your third eye. So your hand is up at a gentle angle. And when you close your eyes, you can imagine looking out over the sea with just a little bit of light coming on the horizon there. And that gives you something to focus on with your eyes. It also puts pressure on your pituitary glands because your optic nerves cross over your pituitary inside the brain. And anytime you do anything but look straight forward, you're changing the pressure on the pituitary gland, which causes it to release special chemicals. So we get chemicals by looking at certain spots. We could do like a little experiment just for the fun of it, where you look at the top of your head. So you close your eyes and just take your eyes straight up. Try it. It's called the 10th gate. It's used in some meditations. That's a big stretch for your eyes. And then if we go just gently to the third eye, it's just a little stretch. And down at the chin, if we move our eyes down to the chin, that's called the moon center. And that's a cooling, it's calming, different kind of dristi. So we'll be using the third eye for this meditation. And then we're also going to use some sounds. We have 3 different sounds. I'll just type them in here so we can see. Oh, I wanted them all to go on the same page, but that's okay. So when you see it spelt out somewhere, it's either spelt A-U-M or O-M. A-U-M is the correct spelling. We've like Americanized it with O-M. And it's Om, right? So Om comes from, actually, if you're comfortable with it, the word Amen. Maybe that's even more of a blessing for you to know that. And if you don't like it, well, it's also the very first sound ever made. In the beginning was the word. It's the sound. And so you repeat that sound. And so we're calling in this great big cosmic energy into ourselves, or God, if you prefer, and we're bringing that sound into our bodies and vibrating the bodies. So it's very calming. And then we'll be looking at the third eye, and we'll be moving our arms actually, but we're not going to do that yet. First, we have to make the sounds. And the ah sound, there's a couple ways to do this, but this one, I'm going to say this is my favorite. So the ah sound is made really low, like a low tone. So you would go, ah. Just practice that. Just go along with me. Nobody can hear you anyway. So, ah. Notice how your mouth is open wide, right? And then, oh. And the sweet sound is the M. And it's like going, like something's really yummy. And you go, This sound is the most fun of all because you can play with your tongue on the roof of your mouth and make it change. So I don't know how good my speaker is on this, but let me try for you and see if you can hear the difference. I'm going to push this almost the center of my tongue up onto the roof of my mouth after I start. Could you hear it change its pitch? Yes, you got to try it. So just do a couple of them. And sometimes people use the tip of their tongue on the roof of their mouth. You kind of move it around like that, or just press the top of your tongue, like the middle of it, up onto the roof. That sound in itself is very calming for the brain and also the vibration, because what we're doing is vibrating the roof of our mouth. This is the bone that our brain sits on. So we can calm the brain by putting this calm vibration right into it. So then all we have to do is put the three sounds together, right? So it's Aum. And you sustain as long as you can, and everybody's sustaining will be different. But if we can't hear you guys. Maybe we should turn it on. That'd be fun. When you're like in a big group, somebody's stopping while somebody's starting, and someone's starting while someone's stopping. So you just have this beautiful sound the whole time. And I want us to do it for a certain amount of time. So time is an important thing. I have a paper here. This was taken from Meditation as Medicine. It's a book by Dharma Singh Clausen. And he talks about the times that we meditate. Let's say you don't have much time. Can you meditate for 3 minutes? Yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes increases blood circulation, begins distributing enhanced neuroendocrine secretions throughout the body. That's a big switch, right? 7 minutes. Your brain patterns begin to shift from the static of beta to the calmer alpha, and ultimately to deep relaxation of delta waves. Simultaneously, the magnetic field surrounding the body increases in strength. So we all have an aura, right? And we want our aura to be bright. So for me, the next one is the one I go into because I want to have my aura. I want to have all my good endocrine gland stuff going. And then 11 minutes is the sympathetic and parasympathetic. So your nervous systems begin to accommodate the increased energy. So you actually get energy. So not only is your aura bigger, you're calmer, and 11 minutes is not that much time. You can set it on your timer. All right. So let us just try today to do a 3 minute, but we're going to use this hand mudra. This is one of the things that came from Kundalini. That sounds also very calming to babies. Yeah, they especially will calm down if their body can be against yours to feel, oh yes, to feel the vibrations that's going through your body as you do it. Oh yes, I say even just put them in your aura. The dog will come and sit by you. The cat, they want to be in that. They can feel it. They're like, oh, this is really good. I'm going to go sit over there, right? So the only other thing, so we're going to look at our third eye, right? We're going to put our little finger and our thumb together. This is actually for communication. If you're ever in a meeting and you're like, oh, this is not going well, you could just put your hands under the table and do this hand mudra, and it should help you. And then we'll tuck our elbows into our ribs, so another acupressure spot. And we're going to follow the sound. So the sound starts low and it rises up, right? So the sound goes, Aum. And we're going to have our eyes closed, okay? So it's an experiment, right? Can't hurt to experiment. We're going to experiment for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to tell you take deep breath in. We're going to suspend the breath. They suspend the breath in Kundalini Yoga. Depending upon where it's at in their set of exercises, it changes or corrects your blood pressure. So when you suspend the breath, sometimes in a class, it could be like for 30 seconds. Like, whoa, you feel like you're going to freak out, right? Or 15 seconds even is a long time. So they say we don't want to be like a breath hog. So in other words, you don't want to go, oh, we're going to suspend the breath. Let me take the deepest breath ever. Just take a normal breath, and then we're just going to let it sit there and relax. Okay? So I will bring you out at the end. We'll sit for like another minute in complete silence and just see if there was any change, because we're going to change the endocrine system in 3 minutes. So let's see what happens, okay? So little finger, try to straighten these babies out. Tuck them into your ribs, and we're going to follow the sound, okay? So we start with Aum. And then deep breath in. Drop your hands back down. Aum. Deep breath. Aum. last time. Inhale deeply, relax your hands down into your lap, palms facing up. And then exhale gently. We'll remain in silence for like 1 minute. Just feel the effect on your body. And slowly begin to open your eyes. I'm curious, I hate to snap you right out of that, but I'm very curious how many Y's or N's we could get where we sat in silence and no monkey brain. And during the meditation itself, the chanting and the movement, was your brain thinking of other things, or did you finally get it to be quiet? Question, I think. A cue. Half and half. A little. Yes, it takes I would say it takes some practice, right? Quiet. Nice. Thinking of the vibrations. Beautiful vibration, right? Calming. Yes, quiet. So just when we learn like to play the piano, how it takes a lot of practice, right? If we didn't get so good at, we wouldn't be like a perfect meditator to start, right? We would be having to practice a bit. So maybe tomorrow, you try for 3 or 7 or 11 minutes. I suggest putting a timer on because I've gotten so into it before, I almost missed a meeting. And it's good to do before a meeting. You'd be nice and calm, right? I forgot to mention also the sounds themselves. The is very low in the body, so it calms that, like I call this our cage. Our body's our cage for our soul. So it really calms your first 3 chakras, and the lower you can make this sound, the more calm you can make the base of your body. And then if you put your hand on your heart when you do the O part, it's vibrating right in the heart chakra. And then we know this comes up into the head. So, it would be wonderful to do in a relaxing bath. Yes, I have actually tried in the jacuzzi before, just making sounds, are called ethereal singing, and not move my body at all, and the water, ooh. So the vibration is definitely in the body. Someone's going to try 11 minutes today. That's very good. Yeah, set your timer, and if you want to sit in silence, maybe you want to communicate with some higher source, you could set your alarm for maybe, they say like half the time, so you go for like 16 and a half minutes, so you'd sit there, and then at 11 minutes you have a little dinger of some sort. And then at the 16 and a half, you could come back out of it, always remembering to say thank you for your beautiful life as you come out of your meditation. And it's so good for the nervous system. Yeah, if you have an anxiety problem, boy, I have an anxiety problem with the whole getting on the Zoom today. I had to reboot my computer. It took 13 minutes and I was early. So let's see, is there any questions? We should be sitting perfectly. Yeah. Sometimes we sit back like this, right? Our hips are like sagging back, it rounds our spine, and all we really have to do to sit perfectly is to rock our hips forward. So your pubic bone is coming down closer to the seat. And when that happens, you can, I have a bad back, so I have to have like perfect posture all the time. But if we sit back like this, and if I just rock my hips, you can see my breastbone come up. That's all you really have to do to sit up straight, to even walk straight. If you're like, oh man, I'm walking around like this, tip your hips and you'll come up. So that would have maybe enhanced the whole meditation if we were sitting perfectly. But I think we're right. Oh, look, my timer. So if we don't have any questions, I guess we move on, right? Thank you.
Well, Laura Marie, thank you so much. Every time I hear you talk about the body and meditation, it gives me so much joy because our body, how much it can heal the vibration, how much we can heal ourselves.
Right.
And someone mentioned yesterday the was the sympathetic nerve and the sympathetic nerve. And that was mentioned yesterday in our 30-day miracle challenge. And I think it was Dr. Karen. I don't know if she's here, but to see how the synchronicities behind it, here you bring it up again about
Right.
the healing power of vibration.
It's like all the angels are coming in to tell you what to do, right?
That's right, so true. And I do have to say, please, everyone, if there's any questions, you could raise your hand in the chat, or you could on screen, or you can put your question in the chat. We'll capture your question for Laura Marie. And Laura, I just want to say that Olga and I went to Costa Rica last month, I think it was, and we were doing a yoga session, and our eyes were closed. Well, at least my eyes were closed. And what happened? We were doing the same did the yoga.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, after I got out of it, I could have sworn he had music playing.
Wow.
The sound was so beautiful.
Yes. With all those voices. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So I just want to say thank you.
The hand mudra is specific to Kundalini, which makes it a Kriya because that's like a set. A set is a Kriya. So when I was doing regular yoga, we were just sitting like that. And I found it didn't have as good of an effect as this, as it follows the sound. So just a plug for Kundalini. There's a little bit extra. You always get a little extra. Do you know?
Question, yeah.
Oh, do you know of people leaving their bodies during meditation? You're free to leave your body if you'd like. Our bodies will always call us back. It's not I don't think it's a bad thing, or it's not dangerous. If your nose needs scratched, you will zap back into your body so quick. You can't really like leave your body. I've never known of anyone dying during meditation, but what's the other? What is the breath that you started with? Our pets will feel. I was interrupted and missed what you were sharing. Oh, when we're doing a meditation, any kind of meditation, or even breathing, we start the meditation with breathing, the pets will calm. Oh, they're like, oh, she's going to calm down now. I think I'll go lay by her. Her aura is going to expand, which is that beautiful white light. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I think I'll go sit by that. It's hard to keep the dog off the yoga mat. Even when you're not on it, the pets want to go sit on it because they know. Uh-oh.
There's a lot of thank yous in the chat, Laura. This was truly amazing. I thank you so much. And I know you're with your sister spending time. So we did a quick swap out. So our original speaker was supposed to be Johnny Kemp, who manifested her new new home, and I'm so excited to hear her come later on and talk about that. And Laura Marie stepped in and fill in. So I just said,
Thank
this
you.
is how we work. And divine just works everything in divine order for us. So Laura Marie, thank you so much and
Thank
enjoy
you.
the rest of your day, the rest of this day with your sister.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right.